llego a casa, pongo el alma, siempre vuelvo con el calma. Siempre vuelo en cuerpo y alma entre tus palmas, la sustancia de la falma. No hace falta nada de eso, no tragues pero trágate este beso. Y este feeling que te traje te quita todo eso, mamá. Negra, cógelo con calma, que de todas en el cuarto tú eres la más que resalta. Conmigo es lo que te salga, pues aprovecho este momento por si no se da la larga. Tienes la habilidad, se me pega sin contar la falta. Cuando baja con calma, que la noche la se larga. Y como la marea viene y va, hace lo que le conviene y más nada. Está puesto para el problema y para su nena. Y ella quiere...
Hola clase y bienvenido a Spanish Speaking Countries and Capitals, las capitales de los países hispanohablantes. La música de hoy se llama Los Walters y la canción se llama Calma. Es una banda español. Una banda española. It is a Spanish band called Los Walters, and the song is Calma. Me gusta mucho el ritmo. I love the rhythm of that song so much. So today we're going to talk about all the Spanish-speaking countries that exist in the world and their capitals. And so this is great so that you know where you can travel and use your Spanish and also have a better idea of geografía. A veces los americanos son terrible con geografía. Sometimes we're not so great with geography, so having a better understanding of where we exist and where others exist is really crucial in becoming a global citizen. So, la primera pregunta, and remember, go ahead, you guys, get your cheat sheets out. You can find those on Brightspace under the Spanish-speaking country and capitals lesson. ¿Hay cuántos países hispanohablantes en el mundo? How many Spanish-speaking countries are there in the world? 21, 11, 33 or 18? Hay 21 países hispanohablantes. There are 21 official Spanish-speaking countries in the world. And so these are official Spanish-speaking countries where Spanish is the official language. Okay, so vamos a comenzar con Europa. So again, if you have your cheat sheet, this is going to make it so much easier. And throughout the semester, siempre estamos practicando las capitales. We are always practicing the capitals. And so es muy importante tener tu cheat sheet. It's really important that you have your cheat sheet. It'll make it a lot easier for you to memorize these. By the time we get to the final exam, you'll need to know all 20 of them. So, el primero país, the first country, está en Europa. So what is the Spanish-speaking country that is in Europe? España. Muy bien. ¿Y cuál es la capital de España? La capital es Madrid. Muy bien. So here you guys can see this is Europe right here. This is Spain. This is France, Italy, England. This would be Africa down below. So Spain is just across of the shores of Africa. Y en la foto, aquí no está la ciudad de Madrid, pero es la ciudad de Segovia. So in the photo, this is the Arches of Segovia, which go all the way back. They date all the way back to the Roman Empire. So Romans built this. That's what's so cool about Spain, is that it is so old, and going back there is being like transported in time. And so these are the archways of the aqueducts of Segovia. Okay, so ahora estamos en América del Sur. So this is South America over here on your left, and I'm pointing to this big purple country, and it starts with an A. And tango came from here, the dance tango. Argentina, muy bien. ¿Y la capital de Argentina? It's 2 words. Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires es la capital de Argentina. Estamos en América del Sur. We're still in South America, and right now I'm pointing to this big green country right in the middle that doesn't have access to the ocean. It starts with a B and rhymes with Olivia. Bolivia. Y Bolivia tiene dos capitales, La Paz y El Sucre. So depending if you're in Spanish 101, 102, 203, 204, you have heard me say this. And so hopefully it's a great refresher for you, or you haven't forgot them at all. So for those of you in 101, there is hope. By the end of the semester, you will know all these países hispanohablantes y las capitales. So there are two, La Paz y El Sucre. Here we have this long, skinny country. Y es Chile, la capital de Chile? Santiago. So Santiago es la capital de Chile, and la isla de Pascua, Easter Island, is Chilean. So if you wanted to visit Easter Island, you would have to go through Chile. Muy bien. I think this is a little bit off. It is. So let's fix this really quick. So happy to make a mistake in front of you, because life is about making mistakes, and I always encourage the best way to learn anything, especially a world language, is to make mistakes. And so if I can make mistakes in front of you, or something wasn't perfect, I'm happy to do that, because life is not perfect, and I'm more than empathetic to the idea that we're all just a work in progress. Okay, so if we're pointing to this one, if you saw already, it's Colombia. Y la capital de Colombia? Bogotá. Muy bien. Still in South America, this country means equator in Spanish. Did you guess Ecuador? Because you're right. So Ecuador means equator because it sits right there on the equatorial line. Y la capital de Ecuador? Quito. Quito es la capital de Ecuador. Mi país favorito en América del Sur. This is my favorite country in South America. I have taken N-Trip students here twice. We'd go into villages that didn't have access to healthcare or education and do health campaigns. And then we would do visits to Machu Picchu and homestays. Being a world language professor, my most favorite part is taking my students abroad to see how they fit as a global citizen, and to see also how amazing the different ideas of life are and what the possibilities can be. So la foto here is Machu Picchu. So Machu Picchu está en Peru. Y la capital de Peru sounds like a type of bean. Lima, exacto. Lima es la capital de Perú. Muy bien. Y Machu Picchu es peruano. So Machu Picchu is Peruvian y Machu Picchu está en Perú. Muy bien. Again, we're still in South America here. Paraguay y la capital de Paraguay? Asunción. Asunción es la capital de Paraguay. This country rhymes with Paraguay. Uruguay. ¿Y la capital de Uruguay? Montevideo. Montevideo. Y en la foto, this is a photo of mate. It's a type of tea that's very popular in Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, that's drinking all day long. Estamos en el norte de South America del Sur. We're in the north of South America. La capital, Venezuela es el país y la capital. Caracas. So Caracas es la capital de Venezuela. Okay, so now we have moved from South America and we're moving on to Central America. So just to recap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hay 9 países hispanohablantes en América del Sur. So there are 9 Spanish-speaking countries in In South America, this big green one is not Spanish speaking. It's Brazil. Does anybody know the official language of Brazil? It's Portuguese. So here they speak Portuguese, and all around them in these countries speak Spanish. There's Suriname and Guinea here as well, French Guinea. And so they speak a mix of Dutch, some French, and I think there's English there as well, and to Trinidad. But I might need to refresh my geography. So just know that there's 9 Spanish-speaking countries in South America. So here we are in America Central, y estamos en el centro, right in the middle here. This is a popular destination for a lot of Americans. Costa Rica. Y la frase aquí, muy popular, es pura vida. So a popular phrase here, and I'll get into that later in the semester, is pura vida. The pure life, living the good life. It's like a surfer saying, like, all is well with me and all is well with the world. And so that is a phrase that comes from Costa Rica. La capital de Costa Rica, San Jose. San Jose. And this is a photo that I took when I was working in Costa Rica. So a job I had was to take 14 and 15-year-olds abroad and do Spanish and service learning. So we would be learning Spanish, but at the same time doing all these service projects to better the community. And one of our trips, we got to camp in the jungle, and it was just the sounds, the feelings to, know that Spanish took me to the jungle to be able to do work. I'm so grateful for that experience. Pretty cool. Okay, so we're still in America Central. This is the smallest, el más pequeño país en América Central, El Salvador, y la capital, San Salvador. I guess I gave you the answer. Guatemala, I got some funny fingers here. So Guatemala is right on the border with Mexico. La capital de Guatemala no es muy complicado. Actualmente es fácil. La ciudad de Guatemala. So Guatemala City es la capital de Guatemala. La ciudad. La ciudad de Guatemala. Muy bien. So I'm missing my arrow, but Honduras is our next country. And this is Honduras right here in the pink. So what I'll do just really quickly, and again, I'm happy to make these mistakes in front of you because that is life. I try to do the best I can, and when I think I'm prepared, sometimes I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be, and it's these small things, and that's okay, because I'm just doing it right now. So you always can figure out a way and be okay with the fact that you're not perfect. Okay, so this right here is Honduras. La capital es complicado. This is a complicated word. So Tegucigalpa, Tegucigalpa, Tegucigalpa. So definitely a mouthful. The best way to get this is to break it down by syllable. Tegucigalpa. Our next country is Nicaragua. Yo saqué esta foto en Nicaragua en 2011. I took this photo in 2011 when I was working in Nicaragua. It was, again, another summer vacation. Not a vacation, actually. I was working, and I had about 15, 16-year-olds old, and we were doing service work and learning Spanish at the same time. Plenty of service work to do in Nicaragua. Nicaragua is the poorest country in Central America. And actually 80% of the world lives in poverty. And so this trip really, I'd seen a lot of things at this point, but this one really, really humbled me because there was poverty everywhere. And so that's the power of languages and traveling, is stepping outside your bubble and understanding, other people's situations as well. And so I really was able to reflect on my own life and see what I take for granted. That's one of the reasons I have such a positive mindset, is I've seen the realities of this world. 80% of the world lives in poverty. And, that's a really stark number. And so to see those realities firsthand, it changes you. And so I'm really grateful that Spanish opened me up to these other lifestyles, so I can have a better understanding of my place as a global citizen, and how I can also make the world a better place with the skills that I have been given. So la capital de Nicaragua is Managua. Here we have Panama. And again, this capital es fácil. La capital de Panama es la ciudad de Panama. La ciudad de Panama. Okay, so I think we got through all 6 countries in Central America. So you have Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. So hay 6 países hispanohablantes in America Central. So as we go to this one, this country is not a part of Central America, but is a part of North America. So North America consists of Mexico, los Estados Unidos, y Canada. So Mexico, la capital de Mexico, that borders los Estados Unidos, our friend just south of the border, la ciudad de Mexico. So Mexico City, la ciudad de Mexico. Mexico City. So remember, la Ciudad de México y México está en América del Norte. Okay, estamos en el Caribe. We are in the Caribbean. This country is 90 miles from los Estados Unidos. And at this point in time, it is illegal for U.S. citizens to visit unless you have a visa. This country is Cuba. Maybe the old car gave it away from you. I took this picture in Cuba in 2013. I had a visa to study Yoruba, a religion. And this was one of the most amazing trips of my life. Cuba has quickly become one of my favorite countries. The culture, the people, everything's so rich, so amazing. And being able to get out and see things with your own eyes and experience with your own eyes is super important. So you don't get caught up in places that can be misconstrued in the media. And so here we have Cuba, la capital de Cuba, La Habana. La Habana es la capital de Cuba. And the old cars, just really quickly, you will not find too many cars made in this century. The majority of the cars are 1960s and below, because we stopped importing in 1969. And so these cars have been the same cars that they've been using for decades. So it's like being transported back in time. Okay. Un poco diferente. Estamos en el Caribe. Esta isla pequeña es parte de los Estados Unidos. So this country is a part of the United States y no necesita un pasaporte para visitarlo. You do not need a passport to visit it. El país, Puerto Rico. Y la capital de Puerto Rico? San Juan. So you do not need a passport to visit Puerto Rico. Es parte de los Estados Unidos. Es un territorio. It's a territory. Our last country in el Caribe is la República Dominicana, y la capital es Santo Domingo. So we have 3 países hispanohablantes en el Caribe, 3 Spanish-speaking countries in the Caribbean. The Dominican Republic shares a country with Haiti. And so Haiti is right here, and they are a French-speaking country. And on the other side of the island is the Dominican Republic, which is Spanish-speaking. Y hay un más. There's one more to round out the list of the 21 official Spanish-speaking countries. And this country is in Africa. Guinea Equatorial, y la capital es Malabo. So Guinea Equatorial, and the capital is Malabo. So a couple things before I end this lesson. Remember, there are 21 official Spanish-speaking countries, and even though the United States has one of the largest numbers of Spanish speakers in the world, the United States is not an official Spanish-speaking country. I hope that you have learned something from today's lesson. Remember, take the cheat sheet. That's what's really going to be useful for you as you move forward. And knowing these capitals and practicing these capitals will pay off big time throughout the semester and throughout your life as you're more aware of geography. Que tenga buen día y nos vemos pronto. Ciao.